The editor of Crux, John Allen, has been leading a team in Rome covering the Synod all month long, keeping us up to date on all the developments, and he joins us now. John, the Synod has come to an end. The work, it seems, has only just begun, though. The bishops had an entire month to discuss the needs of young people as it relates to their connection to the church. Other major topics included the sex abuse crisis, women leadership in the church, so much more. Was this synod a success, or is it too premature to call?
Well, I mean, you never really know whether it was a synod was a success on the day it ends. I mean, that'll have to be measured by what impact it has in dioceses around the world when bishops go home as the final document is read and so on. Now, I can tell you what the bishops themselves are saying. They all think this was a massive success. Many of them who have been through several synods will tell you this was by far the best one they ever attended. That is largely because of the presence of 35 young people and the enthusiasm that they brought. They will tell you that what this synod was a model of a church that doesn't just talk about the young, but actually listens to them. Now, as a journalist, I think that is completely true, but to me, the headline of the synod actually was that in the wake of all of the tumult with the clerical sexual abuse scandals that we have lived through in the Catholic Church over the last several months, the fact that you gathered about 260 bishops from around the world in Rome for a month, where this topic, as you say, came up, and you couldn't get a consensus even around confirming the idea of zero tolerance as the church's policy, despite the fact that 3 popes have publicly committed themselves to it, despite the fact that it is the official policy of the U.S. bishops and in many other parts of the world. The fact you couldn't get a global consensus around that, I think is very revealing, Liz, about where we are.
About this long-awaited final document, what would that look like, John? With respect to the many issues that were discussed, will anything that was agreed upon help move the church forward in light of what you just told us?
Well, look, I think what most people will tell you is that this was a very pastoral synod. It wasn't a doctrinal or theological seminar. A lot of what's in that final document would be suggestions for things bishops can do concretely when they get home to improve the quality of their youth ministry, to involve young people more thoroughly in the life of the church, including being protagonists and decision makers in the life of the church. That kind of thing, I think, was extraordinarily well received here, and if it's actually implemented, could make a real difference. Certainly on other issues, when it comes, for instance, to the abuse crisis or to women in the church, I don't think there's much in this document that many people would recognize as dramatic steps forward. I think on both issues, basically what the bishop said is we get that this is important. And while it is valuable, I suppose, to have a synod of bishops saying that, it doesn't really represent a new contribution that I think is likely to propel the church in some dramatic new way forward.
John, I got to get this in really quickly, 30 seconds. You wrote about concerns that the Synod of Bishops was rigged. That was the word that was used. Is this still a valid concern now that it's over?
Well, look, especially when it comes to the discussion of synodality, that is how to be church in a kind of more participatory church. I mean, it is kind of true that that concept was foisted on the final document rather than resulting from the synod discussions. But, I'm long in the tooth, Liz. I've been covering synods of bishops for a long time. I don't remember a single one of them that some people didn't feel was rigged in some way. So was this a little bit rigged? Probably. Is there anything new under the sun? No.
All right, John, thank you. Perfect last word. Always great talking to you, sir.
Thank you, Liz.